3, chapters 5 and 6 of my book, Finding Your Alignment by Tony Bomboni. Link to the Kindle and paperback in the top fold of the description box below. Let's get started. Chapter 5, Look Deeper Within, page 50. When I say that meditation is important, I mean it. There is only so much a person can do in the regular state of mind. Meditating helps you reach entire new levels of awareness that your regular functioning mind couldn't process before. By constantly having access to your higher self, you can make decisions in your life based on what is best for you. If you choose not to meditate, then you may miss out on huge opportunities and overlook them completely. Since I've said that your world is simply a reflection of what you feel on the inside, then if something in your tangible reality is bothering you, there needs to be inner repair work done. To fix this bothersome issue, this includes self-talk in the mirror, meditation, stepping out in nature, and writing down a lot of things that can really evaluate your life on a grander scale. There are many more activities that can be done to improve yourself and upgrade your vibration to the higher dimensions. I am stating only so much that can fit in a quick read. If you're in a hurry with your busy life, start off small and work your way into making these proactive actions a habit. There is never harm done in investing in yourself, and doing so should always be looked at in a positive light. The one person you can count on is always going to be you. So why not set aside some time and do something to improve your entire being? Realistically, by jogging every morning, eating healthier meals, and learning new information daily, you will improve the mind ever more. However, these earthly plane activities will only take you so far. There needs to be more spiritual work done in order to take you to the next step. I have gone through a time for about a couple of years where I refused to meditate, didn't bother listening to self-motivating audios, and haven't picked up a single book to read. It is safe to say that during that period, I was a complete and utter mess. There was no direction, no motivation, and no personality within me. I felt lost and didn't know what to do with myself. The worst part of all was that my fire within burned out and I lost my vision completely. I forgot all about my divine purpose. It was the darkest, most confusing time of all, and I never want to go back to that time ever again. So, if you think you can get away with not doing some deeper inner analyzing work, I'm living, breathing proof that you are terribly mistaken. Without connecting to God constantly in some way, there is no chance at a sustained form of living. Sustenance is inevitable for those who choose to improve themselves and be the higher vibrational individual they're meant to be. I vividly remember the difference in how I felt from when I first discovered the world of spirituality to when I went without connection to Source for 2 years. During my initial self-discovery, I began meditating every single day, along with doing EFT tapping. Looking into tarot card readings and rune stones were also my thing. I made a lot less money during that time and was still genuinely happier compared to the time I felt so lost and had great abundance. There was more energy and vitality within me during my first spiritual awakening. Depression was a thing of the past, and thanks to the help of some healing crystals, my anxiety was beginning to dissipate as well. Now that I think about it, I cannot believe I went so long choosing to ignore the godly powers of the universe. There are no regrets, however, as I had to go through that experience to understand my place in the world and what I needed to be doing. Had I never been through those 2 years, I would never know the importance of spiritual practices. Now, if the whole wide world of spiritual awareness just isn't your cup of tea, then there must be some other way you can connect to the one and only source. Only you would think you would know the way to do so without anyone having to explain. Think of something you like doing that keeps you out of your head. I have mentioned that running is an earthly plane activity and doesn't count as meditation. However, if going for a jog really keeps your mind out of focus from the physical world, then I recommend that as your meditative activity of choice. There needs to be something you do that takes you away from reality just for a bit and releases the burdening focus of the human mind. For this connection with God to work, you truly need to let go of any and all tensions, frustrations, and focus from your vision of the world. Music can help balance these feelings out and create a neutral environment for you to start from. However, I do not recommend songs that induce intense emotions, such as anger or sadness, for example. If you are beginning your run outside, perhaps it is best to start off by listening to music throughout the exercise, so this can help neutralize any lingering emotions. My favorite tracks are progressive house without lyrics, so that I can lose my focus on the feeling of the song. Words have much power within them, and any spoken word in music can change the mood instantly. Since these songs I prefer usually don't have any lyrics, one can just make what they want of them, as the songs try to induce any emotion in the listener. After you begin the jog, try to focus on how you feel rather than what is around you. If there are people, don't think of them, but just look within yourself to find any trace of your feelings at the time. Are you energized and ready to go? Or is there a feeling of sadness? Try and decipher why this emotion is there and release it with every step taken during the run. There's nothing that is worth holding on to if it only brings you down, making you feel upset. Sadness in the long term creates illness in the body, which does damage and causes disease. One should always be mindful of how they're feeling and do something about it if the sensation doesn't feel right for them. By releasing the negative and frustrating feelings from the body, you are detoxifying in ways you cannot even imagine. While you jog, visualize with each step taken the feeling channeling out of your feet and into the soil of the earth for decomposition. You may also picture the bad emotions releasing out from the breath and even through the scalp of the head. The more you breathe and sweat during the workout, the more these negative sensations dissipate. Now you are pacing yourself and are halfway through with the run. Are the emotions from prior gone? How do you feel now? Keep yourself in check as you continue this exercise. Finally, look around and see how you feel about the surroundings. Have they improved since you changed the way you feel inside? Most likely, yes, since you did the work to check up on how you felt. The practice of emotional mindfulness is a simple structured plan which most people are not aware they can do. This may be done with literally any activity chosen. If you pick golfing, imagine the negative emotion being the golf ball and swatting it away in the distance. If the activity is karate, picture the enemy target to be your self-doubts as you chop and kick away at them. Are you simply sitting down and drinking water? Speak to it. Tell the water how much you love it. Whisper the sweetest of nothings to it, for what you put inside your body is what you become overall. Since there is scientific evidence that water changes to what energy it is given, such as through spoken word, that means good words in a cup will increase your vibration as you consume the beverage. This can also be considered a meditative activity that you can perform any time. Try and come up with your favorites and devise a plan to do each every day. If you cannot just sit there with crossed legs and visualize. As soon as you determine what works best, stick to it. There's nothing better than a good old routine. And practice makes perfect. The more you do these exercises, the more you find yourself in alignment with your purpose, and the surroundings begin to shift to your desired vision. Suddenly the same place you went for a run no longer has that many people. This could be because you are aligned into seeing the new world you have created for yourself, and those same people from before were no longer meant to be in your path of creation. So long as you notice these changes day after day, you are doing the right thing and the best possible work for yourself. The important thing is change. If there is some form of minimal change taking place each day, you are in alignment and are on the right way to fulfill freedom and purpose. Don't fret if you don't notice these shifts right away, as they are not meant to happen instantly. The universe will always take some time to bring about your desires, so have much patience. Be kind to yourself, to others, and your gift will arrive before you know it. Change can be anything from seeing different hands on the clock than you normally see, or suddenly your coffee tasting different. Take note of these alters in your reality and write them down. They are priceless signs that you are shifting into a different vibration. All of this is just one way you may seek for answers within your soul. There is another activity which is one of my personal favorites, and that is speaking to yourself in front of a mirror. Yes, it is going to be super uncomfortable the first time you do it. Trust me, I felt wild smiling at myself and speaking nicely to a reflection. But if you really think about it, any visualization practice can be deemed weird to an outsider if they perceive what you are doing and thinking to yourself at any given moment. The one beautiful thing about self-improvement is releasing any fears, doubts, or worries. If you do this, there is no need to feel uncomfortable, awkward, and allow the thoughts of, I wonder what people will think, to cross your mind. You should never really care of others' opinions of what works best for you, so long as you do no harm to yourself or people. Start off by standing, facing the mirror, and asking yourself questions. A good one to begin is, what is my purpose? Have a steady conversation and slowly work your way into fulfilling sentences. You may start off by giving yourself short answers like, I want to help others. But after some time, giving replies that are consistent to your plan will be explained in more detail. By this I mean that your answer a few days from the first time you practiced this mirror exercise would be, my purpose is to reach out to people, be there for them, guide them into the higher plan, and assist them into conquering over their hidden fears. After a while, you will be having full-blown conversations with yourself, and will look back and say to yourself how easy it was. The inner fears of yesterday will vanish, and you'll become more self-aware, persistent in your routinely patterns, and build healthier and stronger bonds with people and your own higher self. It is all thanks to a simple talk with your own reflection that you can achieve more confidence with what you see. You will grow so used to seeing yourself and will want to improve your image ever more. There are certainly limitations to how far one can take this practice. To obsess constantly over appearance or to continuously every hour of the day communicate with a reflection would provide quite the opposite effect to what someone needs. Try doing this exercise when you awake every morning for approximately 5 to 15 minutes, as it is all you need. Make it a habit to remember to do this, and you will no longer have to set an alarm clock as a reminder. The next step after having self-reflecting talk is to give yourself positive affirmations. Tell the mirror that everything is going to be okay. Everything is in alignment, and you see the world clearly for what it is, and for how beautiful it can become. You are the master of your own destiny, and conquer over any obstacles, such as negative speech. By promoting this positive chit-chat, you'll slowly become shifted into an entirely new person. The old you will be a thing of the past, and they will become an unrecognizable entity that you never knew why you associated with. You will be determined to send love and healing to your past self in hopes that it would become the enlightened individual you are today. There will be a vibratory, loving energy in everything you see and do, and this is when the true alignment journey begins. If the words don't come out and resonate with you right away, don't fret. The first time I did this work, there was no initial planning underway. I just stood in front of my reflection and began talking. Whatever comes out of your mouth is the higher self speaking and will just naturally flow. If you feel stuck, move on to saying something else that instantly flashes in the mind. If you need to sit in silence and serenity, then do so. It is a healing process and needs to happen. Every person's reflection work will be vastly different, and you should never compare yourself to someone else's experience with this or any spiritually growing work. As you shift into this new alignment and continue these exercises mentioned earlier, there will be noticeable changes within weeks. Suddenly, the practices will become easier to perform. The words will just flow out of your mouth faster than you can think them up. The higher self will be so connected to the source that everything good will flow to you easily and effortlessly, as they always should. I don't remember whatever made me step back into my old patterns and ways of living. It is just as easy to start anew. Journey as it is to fall back into an old one. Sometimes doing so is vital for your learning experience on Earth, so if it feels natural to go back for a bit and reevaluate circumstances, then do so. Always do what feels right and never look back. However, if something feels off and you actively choose to ignore these internal instincts, then that is veering off the alignment, which no one should do. Since we have free will on this planet, there is no right or wrong way to do things, but to purposely sabotage your beautiful life by reversing everything you once worked very hard for is to truly be in the energy of lack and out of aligning with your purpose and meaning. Post all the self-talk, meditative activity, and everything else mentioned in former chapters. You must combine these elements on paper. Write down everything you do every day and keep a recorded track of your progression. It will feel so good to look back on every single enlightened moment you had, why you felt a certain way, and what you attracted through manifestation at a certain time frame. This is one of those things I need to practice what I preach, because record keeping does one main thing. It proves that this process works. Had I recalled all the times my meditations and positive exercises worked in the long run, I would have been more confident in the existence of this work and continued to do them. During the heavy 2-year period of learning through mistakes, it would have been nice to have insight and a reminder to the power of the universe. I now realize it was all up to my own free will to decide what was best for me at the time. Writing is something I do frequently. However, record keeping of my experiences daily is one of the routines I don't have much patience for. Taking notes on my existence is too analytical for my taste, and that says a lot since I am an overtly analysis-based thinker. I like to believe that the power of meditation will help me overcome the need to overthink everything, but I'll leave it to just being a part of my personality for now. If it feels right with me, there is no need to make a drastic change. By describing down what you feel, your progress, and studying back on the progression, there will be such a positive change within that you will truly learn how to connect the dots of your entire existence. It will connect not only pen to page, but from thought to spoken word as well. There is a magical process of manifestation that occurs when one is aware of what they speak. To be mindful of the spoken word is to be mindful and aware of God Himself, and to be one like Him. He chooses His words carefully, just as you would within your higher alignment. The magic of a miraculous feat is but only a shift in the mind. Whenever you're feeling lost in the whole process and are frustrated at how slow life is sometimes, always connect back to the source, as they will constantly be there for you when you are ready. This all must be done at your own pace, and there is no such thing as competition in the spiritual world. Nobody is better than anybody, and no one is doing any of this the wrong way. Your end goal should always be to connect back to God. If there are any feelings of doubt, lack, worry, or fear, just simply do any of the exercises mentioned and you will connect back with your inner self. To be lost is really to be found. If you have worked to make the shift in your brain actively positive, once you've done the work to change your perspective and thus reality, it will be easy and effortless to think more positively. Any bad circumstance or situation will become ever more positive as you will begin to realize that these events were meant to occur to help guide you into higher alignment. Any scenario you encounter from here on out is only for your higher good and plan to get you to where you need to be. When nirvana is attained, and that is when everything and all is purely blissful and exactly where it needs to be. Things will stop changing and you will have entered your newfound freedom. Heaven will be placed right here on earth and there will be no more thoughts that hold you back. Feelings of letting go will no longer be necessary as the work has already been done. Everything you ever desired is free-flowing and takes but only one emotion to manifest. That emotion should always be the one of pure happiness and love, as it is the strongest feeling that wins above all. Existing in this newly formed creation is to truly be aligned with oneness and all that is grand. You shall begin to think larger, see broader and clearer, and hear all the signs from above. Every manifestation will be thought out bigger, every vision will be seen more clearly and precisely, and each message heard from your spirit guides will forever and always be more heard. Perhaps it is best to focus on manifesting only but your higher good, as it is what is best for all. When one feels lost, the best solution is to visualize the higher being within us and to focus on becoming this entity. It will feel new, however. This person is within us all along, throughout our entire existence. The reason babies cry often is because they are forgetting their reason for being here. The longer we are on this plane of being, the more we forget why we came to begin with, until one day the child halts crying and forgets overall why they were crying to begin with. Find the reason you are here, and you have found the unity once more. There is no need for you to end your life here to discover what lies beyond. It is as simple as the exercises mentioned earlier, which should help the bigger picture become crisper in sight and mind. Uncover what works best from these practices and perform them daily like clockwork. Study everything you have written from this book and follow it to the best of your ability until it becomes a steady, routinely habit. Page 62, Chapter 6, Inspire and Uplift. Hope you're liking it so far. Practicing what you preach is key for helping others, because how else would you know what you are saying works? To follow someone's mantra is fine, but to follow your own is even better, for only you know what is best for your life situation. Just like with this book, you take any advice you're open to and leave behind what doesn't resonate within. One cannot force themselves to understand something that is not within their vibration at a certain time. Helping other people must be done without force or implementing fear. Otherwise, the powerful energy of will goes against everyone's alignment, including the one performing the harmful tactic. Let's say there is an organization which forces everyone who joins to believe in their ways, otherwise X, Y, and Z will occur. This is a typical fear-mongering mechanism utilized in many groups over history who try and gain a massive following for fame, money, and thus power. The ones formulating such organizations are not only knocking their inner purpose out of alignment, but also inflicting a self-doubt within other people, contrast to what their true purpose really is. This ill tactic of manipulation creates a chain of people dependent upon the group for answers when they should really be looking within themselves. To truly be in alignment is to realize the strategic tactics of such people and to not fall for such blasphemy for the organizer's own personal gain and satisfaction. The leader of the group may have several good pointers to guide people in the right direction. However, overall, their plan is one of pure dominance and control. To follow in the footsteps behind such a leader would be to fall into the trap of their own misery and doom. What one should always do is to listen with an open mind, but never dive so deep into a topic that it makes one change their entire way of thinking. As stated, I am here to create a path for you to find answers within, not to oversee your existence and judge it. I am in this ride of life just as much as you are, and am equally trying to determine what to make of everything. I in no way am ever going to be here to make others believe me. I am simply existing, giving my opinions based on my observations, and naturally people will listen intently if they so choose of their own free will. The same principle should be followed if one is to decide to start their own leadership role of any sort, big or small. Following the inner heart's desire with pure intent will take you places never imagined. If you've ever sat in front of someone giving a speech, you will know what it feels like to be given information in a dominant aspect. The presenter is standing up confidently, speaking loud and clear. They are showing body language of vigor and vitality. Hurling knowledge at the audience who are eager to listen. The more passionate the speaker is, the more closely people listen in. This principle applies to any form of entertainment, such as a radio personality. The louder and more eager they are to speak about a topic, the more people will turn up their volume and tune in to hear what is occurring. Anyone can be heard if their voice is loud enough, but some groups only give off loud noise for people to tune out their inner voice. What I mean is that certain organizations will purposely create mindwash propaganda to drown out any feelings or voices the listener has inside. When you feel something is wrong but choose to ignore it, you are allowing these people to win over your personal judgment. No one will ever know what is best for you, so there is no need to follow behind any leader. To compete with someone in a level-based format is also to be out of alignment. Life and its inhabitants are not intended to be a competition, and no one is ever going to be better than anyone else, such as in a video game. The truth of the matter is, the person now portraying the leader role has been through many struggles prior, but only choose to show their best presence. The masks this individual portrays only creates an illusion for others, which many mistaken for being on a different level. They only show their best side, and the rest is hidden underneath the layers of their own doubts. All the leader is doing is actively choosing to show their good traits, to inspire and uplift other people, focusing now on the groups with positive intent, and placing all judgment for the leader aside, we can receive a bird's eye view of how motivating people truly begins. This must all start from somewhere, and all it takes is one person to make an insanely large difference. This character must have all the positive traits of a leader, including their own aligned will. Without a wish of some sort, without that fire burning within, and especially without good intent, the leadership role will not last a lifetime. Ancient history with its trials and tribulations has shown again and again that even the most powerful of leaders have failed due to ill intent in their hearts. The largest of empires have crumbled into ashes because of an energy force of imbalance and misalignment. If only these people had seen the bigger picture of how life really works, would they have channeled all their energy into something Depression is often the reason for failure in the past. This negative feeling consumes the person so much that they feel the need to instill revenge upon others, as if karma was based on their wish. There are numerous ways one may channel aggressive energy in a positive light, such as through the power of forgiveness. To forgive someone is to forgive yourself, as it is equally as freeing and powerful as loving someone. When someone originates out of pure love, there is no room for sickening thoughts or feelings to enter and reside. If only these leaders began their journey with love, so many innocent people would have been saved from harm's way. Millions would have been enlightened and have created a powerful energy force of love to dominate the earth. Because of a handful of people who mistakenly created mass chaos through the brief span of humanity's history, this has caused the process of evolution to stall. For people to become their best selves, everything must be in harmony and equilibrium. Wars have only caused destruction and a disturbance of peace. They have never once solved a problem, created positive energy, or given people comfort and peace of mind. The false perception of war and ill-willed organizations have proven to be the cause of misinformation and are a surefire way to knock someone right out of alignment. Thankfully, there is no such thing as evil, for it is only the creation of mankind. The truth is, people not only have the power to create death and decay, but also to formulate imaginary beings in their minds, which cause such tumultuous circumstances. There can only be love and light, and everything else is illusionary. So long as one has this vision, nothing else can be frightening, dominating, or the opposite of unconditionally loving. To inspire one another, one must only feed uplifting, positive, and motivating thoughts. To do this, the giver of the information must only feed into inspirational and motivational thinking. Otherwise, the process of giving this same knowledge doesn't work. How could someone teach you about Inspiration 101 when the teacher doesn't believe in the power of it? Whoever you are listening to must truly believe in the words they are saying. Otherwise, it is not meant to be heard. You have the free will to listen to what they say. However, their words will only be noise for your brain and will not stick with you in the long run. To process the teacher's wisdom, the student must absorb their passion about the subject. If the instructor despises their career and speaks monotonously about being motivated and uplifted, then the words coming out of their mouth does nothing for you. Think back now to the confident and outspoken speaker I mentioned earlier. How would their words resonate within your mind were they to speak about the same subject as the monotone instructor? Would you believe that this energetic speaker believes in the word they speak, or would you believe the teacher portraying the opposite? Most likely, the vigorous presenter would win over tenfold as many people with their presentation. Only the equally passionless will tune to the sound of vocabulary drowning out of the bored and tired teacher, for what one believes in is drawn to more. If you believe in the lifeless instructor and have faith that what they say is true, it is because you have put belief that you don't have to practice what you preach. This may sound complex on a smaller scale, but when you study the psychology of why different people tune into different things, you will understand it all has to do with the system of belief. We are subconsciously drawn into people who share similar ideals, beliefs, passions, and plenty more. The reason you choose to watch your favorite television personality is most likely because you both share a fair amount of similar life viewpoints, or the way you look at the world. How you perceive what is there is how your belief system works, and thus what you acknowledge about life. When someone validates your belief, it only ensures the opinion to grow stronger and more developed in the subconscious. This is how famous personalities develop their own influence over others, especially in an instant due to social media. They develop an opinion, their belief, and plant the seed for many others to believe in that same thought. In a large spectrum, many more share the same belief and grow it deeper and stronger in the subconscious. This goes on until the belief system grows like a wildfire. Those who have their own open mind will understand where the opinions come from, but will take what is massively said online and from the influencer with a pinch of salt. This is exactly the type of developmental understanding I want you as the reader to comprehend. The system is the circumstance of developing a thought into an opinion, forming them into a belief, and spreading it to others to make up their own mind. A priceless tactic which has been used not only in shady organizations, but to help others as well. The irony of the pot calling the kettle black settles once one realizes on a higher scale that everyone has their own faith out of free will, and to say as they please. To judge their spoken word is to demean and diminish not only them, but yourself as well. Everyone has a different story to tell, and one must respect their view, as we all share a various vision of the same tale. To degrade another based upon their disagreement with your belief is to deem yourself as the creator of everything. All you have done to formulate your belief is hear what someone else said about that same ideology. To develop an inspiring motive is to remove all judgment for one another, and to have only the intent of uplifting the listener's vibration. Anything unjust, such as revenge, is considered less than and is to be removed from thought as it serves no one any higher good. To make your motives work for other people, you need to practice a broad insight on how everything and everyone is connected. The psychology of the human brain is only so complex as we make it to be. Once you've figured out how simple your mind views the world, you can, in a positive light, manipulate your perception of reality and influence others the same inspiring way. All it takes is practice on what you preach and to be passionate about what you speak. When these are accomplished, the world is yours to motivate, and doors begin to glide wide open. Understand that one is to frequently be mindful of what they say, for there is no knowing when someone may be listening, as every one of us have made regrettable decisions, such as stating a hurtful remark towards someone. I know my fair share of these occasions. When I least expected someone to be listening in on my conversation, that is when the most trouble began to stir. Gossip is a diminishing subject which must be removed from the speech at all costs, as it hurts everyone around, including your own vibration. One of the hardest life lessons was to involve myself in dramatic experiences of others. I've always been a helping hand and tried my best to reach out to others, ignoring the consequence inflicted upon myself afterward. There would be countless times growing up where I would be drawn to the wrong people and would want to help uplift them. I never realized it was not their time or within their path to do so, and I was only pushing my own motives upon these people. Had I realized what I know today, I would have left them to grow in their own time, rather than pushing myself to circle the drain with them. Every single human must evolve in their own divine time. If I had come along in good timing, perhaps I would have made the change they needed. However, I found myself trapped in an endless cycle of drama which unfolded time and time again. Because I approached people who didn't want to be helped, I was observed as the creator of dramatic experiences. To be honest, this is the nicest way I could place the remarks toward me into words. Vocally, helping those who wish to seek you for help without your judgment or opinion is the best plan of action for uplifting others, and will also make you an extremely likable person. Criticizing others only brings their energy to shift lower and makes you instill and accumulate karmic debt with those same people you just judged. This karma, without going into enormous detail, is caused by constant misalignment with the highest of good in the universe. Thinking back on the metaphor of your body as an atom living in God's body, there will only be the damaging effect of karma placed upon you, the longer you go without learning the lessons of living. The more prolonged the scurrilous damage you cause is done, the harder the lecture of karma will be to learn, until one day the higher self comes into view. There's a plethora of times my aligned view came to teach me a lesson and provide me insight on what to do next time around. We are, in some way, light workers whom provide relief for humanity in times of necessity. However, what we are not is the creator of all. Because of this simple truth, we cannot place our beliefs onto others without their will of listening. We are always free to state our viewpoint, but to do any further is to only be damaging. People must do what they please with your words and twist them around if they choose to their own version of reality. All of us have a voice, but we should never be afraid to use it. To be fearful of your inner voice is to never speak up, and to never speak up is for another to never hear that beautiful sound which resonates within us all. We all have the universal information planted deep in the non-conscious. Sometimes that voice comes out to play and makes everyone aware of what is yet to come when our time is completed on earth. This deep-rooted understanding makes people aware there is more to just the physical reality of daily living, and thus inspires others to seek for truthful answers. The cycle then continues to unfold as more attempt to uncover what the meaning of life really is. More motivational speakers come to play, and more voices are heard, echoing through crowds of inner knowledge. The louder the uplifting sounds vibrate, the more people speak up, and the higher humanity becomes channeled into other dimensional planes of perception. This is when the divine wisdom comes through and creates butterfly effects of constant vibrational increasing. Before you know it, most everyone has shifted into newer realities, and thus fresher and broader insights increase to seek into what humankind is all about. When we understand ourselves, we understand each other, and when we know each other, we know everything there is to know about why we are here. I know one thing is for certain, without anyone ever telling me. One of the reasons I'm here is to uplift and inspire others as well as you are. For you to read through these words, and have came this far in life, there must be a reason you were led here to begin with. The universe feeds droplets of information to those willing to listen, just as we hear each other out when we choose to. This is because we are a part of the universe as it is us. So anything shared within each other is universal information shared within all. Give only information with loving intention. Realize that only those willing to listen will hear. Offer no judgment other than those to yourself, and maintain the deep-rooted understanding that only uplifting and inspiring vocabulary shall pierce through human minds. With these ideologies in focal point, people will naturally begin to listen more and will become curious as to what you must share. Only give your knowledge when it feels right. Otherwise, don't waste any breath when it serves no purpose for anyone. The worst thing one can do is deplete their energy with empty and meaningless words. Have intent with everything spoken. Share when you can, and critique only how you may improve your craft of finding your alignment. Base every breath with love to others as much as you love yourself. The stronger the vibration of love is, the more minds you reach, creating a ripple effect of higher vibration all around. Everything is connected somehow, and I want you to maintain this mindset throughout the repetition of not only my words, but life